Hi, everybody. I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
And I'm Eli.
And we are the YHWH and the Torah channel.
And we are very glad you can join us. It is morning our time, so whatever time it is that you're joining us, we thank you for joining us. We are supposed to be reading our Bibles as a family, and that is what we're doing. We are extending our table out to you guys, extending our family out to you, hoping that you guys will enjoy the Torah as much as we enjoy it, as much as we find a delight in it, that you guys will put your hearts, minds, and souls into it, that you will put it on your mind every single day. Do what is told by Yahuwah, that he says, you will be my people if you will keep my commands. And that is what we're doing. We're going over them to understand what we need to be keeping.
All right. Thanks, Cade. On fire again. Always good to hear you roll it very quickly, which is fine. It is totally fine. This is how we speak, and this is we appreciate the intro on that. And yes, these laws, statutes, and commands are something we are supposed to dwell on. Now, Eli, why don't you get up here on the speaker and tell me why we should dwell on these laws, statutes, and commands?
Because if we follow them, we will get blessings from Yahuwah.
And what else?
We follow his Torah and we know what's right and what's wrong.
That's right. We know what is right and what is wrong. Now, you weren't here for yesterday's little intro, so without looking, I am going to do today's law trivia. Okay, Eli, you get the very first 10. If you get them, you get a star.
Bear fruit, multiply.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
You fouled.
Be fruitful.
You're out. You're out of the game. I'll give you one more shot. All right, strike one.
Be fruitful.
Okay.
Multiply. Have dominion over the earth.
You're out. Okay, everybody, who wants to give us a stab? You already did up to, let's see if you guys can clear 10. Okay, go.
Be fruitful.
Yep.
Multiply.
Got it.
Subdue it.
You're out.
Oh, no, it's replenish the earth.
Jaden.
I think that's what you did.
Last shot.
All right. Bear fruit, multiply, replenish.
Wait. You're out. Everybody's out. Bear fruit.
Fruitful. Let's be fruitful.
You guys, everybody is out. Everybody is struck out. Okay, let's go over these very carefully. I want you guys to listen to me because tomorrow we will try this again. I'm going to give you the first 15. Okay, 1, be fruitful. Multiply. Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Have dominion over all living creatures. The herb bearing in every tree is for food. Man and woman should build their own families. Master sin. Every clean, moving thing that lives shall be food for you. Number 10 is what? Don't eat the blood.
Yeah.
Okay, 11 is what? Walk before me and be perfect. 12, guard Yahuwah's covenant. Every male child shall be circumcised at 8 days old. 14, teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. And 15, something very important. Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. So he has a name. It's not God. It's not Lord. It is Yahweh. It is Yad-Hed Vad-Hed. I am that I am. And again, we thank you guys very, very much. Now, we have a little bit of a debate. Not even a debate, but we need to have a discussion here. I've read over. This is going on yesterday's because we have still not found the right answer for this, because everywhere that we go online that has a list of these commandments, they do list within Leviticus 5 commandments. Now, as I do this, let's go ahead. I want your thoughts on this first. Kate, tell me about Leviticus 5. How what we talked about yesterday, and this one in particular. Verse 1, if anyone sins because they do not speak up when they hear a public charge to testify regarding something they have seen or learned about, they will be held responsible. Okay, where is the commandment in that? Anyone?
There should be the command, like, if you heard someone that is sinning and you know that the person has sinned and there's a case going on about it, you need to speak up about it. That's what it's supposed to be with the command. But here it just says if a person does not say what they saw, they're just going to get punished for it. Okay,
so what are we dealing with here, Jade?
It's more like a judgment. What's going to happen to you? It's not really a command. It just basically says you'll bear his wickedness. It doesn't say that you should or should not do something.
So when we're dealing with the laws, statutes, and commands of Yah, what is this?
Statute.
Well, I guess I only gave you 3. I guess it's a trick question. But these would be, I think, after I did this would be called judgments, right? So if you do this, then this is what it should happen. And so I don't know so much. I prayed on this last night. I thought about this. I tried to find some direction on this. Does anybody here in the clan have any other viewpoints? Nicole?
No, I think it's like you said, a judgment.
She's so far away. I don't know if you can hear her. She has a little mouse voice, and she's really shy. So hopefully that came through. All right. Yeah, they're judgments. This is. I don't know so much as this is the right answer for this chapter, but we again will dwell on this. And again, we're looking for outsider viewpoint. If you guys who are listening to this every day, you guys see this. The one command that we got out of this was do not eat the fat, right? That was on the very end of this?
3.
Oh, that was on 3? Okay. So that isn't even 5. So this is what I have come to understand is that we will find these commandments somewhere in the Torah, that this is only giving us judgments that if you break these commands. But these are things everybody should know, right? Like if you hear that if somebody says something, and this is where I uploaded this video today that you guys can look for. It is again not for kids, but it is what got Boss Clan in a whole ton of hot water. And we went after the devils that took out a child, and they ended up literally ripping our house to shreds over this. But it is something that I would, even to this day, I agree it was the right answer to do, is to go after all of the people that allowed this child to be abused. And so for those who are looking for that backstory, you can watch that video. It's the one right below this one, and it is pretty disgusting. It's pretty filthy. It's one of those things that adults allowed things to happen to children, and not a single adult had the strength, I guess, or courage to stand up for this child. So out of the blue, we took on literally 100 different Christians, and we were blackballed, we were exiled, people were yelling at us, we had death threats, and then they ended up raiding our house over false accusations. And the best thing that can happen to that is that we were handing out Bibles to all the cops that had just flipped our house. So not only did they find nothing, and they understood that we are innocent people, they got Bibles at the end of it. And so whatever that does, whatever that means, that is what it is. So anyway, let's end this on Leviticus 5, because that is not the topic for today. And again, thanks for everybody who's out there, everybody who is joining us in our virtual table. We really, truly appreciate it. One other thing is I did talk to the guy at the Sefer, right? Stephen Pigeon. And he says that in John 13:13, where it says, Yahushua says he is, in this version, his version, the incorrect version now, it says Yahushua is Yahweh. And that is incorrect. Every other version out there has the correct stuff. And somehow somebody slipped that in. Maybe the spirit of the devil got into the editor at the Sefer or something. I don't know. And I do know we had a sub that was telling me, oh, it's not a big deal, Jason. You focus on the wrong things. I think it is absolutely the right thing to focus on, right? We are, I guess people don't put themselves in our position. We are the defenders of the word of Yah. That is what our job is. And that on YouTube, this is what it has been. And so we have 3 billion Christians out there who think the laws of God are abolished, and we are the people fighting against that, and we say the laws of Yah are not abolished. And so since they did acknowledge this error in the Sefer, and I like the translation of everything in the Sefer, I am going to wait for that update. For those who got a hardback book, I would simply email Stephen, Stephen, at Sefer, Cepher.net, and I would hold them accountable to this. If you ended up with a hardback book with John 13:13 that has the wrong translation, I would have them pay for shipping and have the Bible returned, and when they have the correct version out there, or refund you until you have the correct version. If we are allowing an incorrect translation, and that is what we are studying from, and we have to trust in it, and it's not to be trusted, that's a problem. And people are like, well, the King and the NIV are the only trusted versions. Those versions are completely riddled with horrible translation errors. In fact, they've taken the name of our Creator out so many times. His name is not God. His name is Yahweh, Yahuwah. And it's very, very important that we have this right, and we must get this right. And if you're trying to study with other people and your Bible says that Yahweh and Yahuwah are the same people, that is biblically incorrect. And whatever happened with the Sefer, I hope it was nothing nefarious. I hope the editor wasn't, had unclean spirits get him or something of the sort. But it is a nasty translation error. So anyway.
Yahuwah and Yeshua, not Yahuwah, Yahuwah.
Did I say this wrong thing? Yahuwah and Yahushua. Sorry. Yes, Yahushua and Yahuwah are not the same being. They're totally separate beings. And so it's the Son, right? Yah did not come and die for us, but his Son did, which is way more monumental to Yah, right? It's a sacrifice of him as well as, his Son. All right, so let's begin. Leviticus 6. Anyone have anything?
No.
Everything good?
Yeah.
You guys all good?
Yep.
Having an okay day?
Yep.
So far, yeah. So far, so good.
Everyone out there, you guys good? I hope you guys are good. Much love to those who are stopping drinking coffee. The Grand, I hope you're doing good. I hope your coffee is, your headaches are gone and you're a little less grumpy today. Nicole seems to be out of her any kind of headaches. She only had headaches for like a day or so. And so it is possible. It is totally possible to stop drinking coffee, and it does rewire your brain, so it's probably not a great thing that we should be doing. All right, let's get on. Leviticus 6. We are on a quest for finding commandments. Okay, and Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, if a soul sin and commit a transgression against Yahuwah, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or has deceived his neighbor. And you see I love the Sefer for this, but none of that makes any sense, right? Does anyone have, what's your version say? What's your say?
Number 2, right?
Yep.
When any being sins and committed a trespass against Yahuwah, and has lied to his neighbor about a deposit or a pledge, or about a robbery, or shall extort from him his neighbor. And then you want me to continue on 3?
No. So that makes a lot of sense. And lie unto his neighbor. Okay. I don't know why we say and lie unto his neighbor. I didn't know what that meant. Okay, so if you're lying to your neighbor and you're saying that something was ripped off or taken away, then you're breaking Yah's laws. Or have found that which was lost and lies concerning it, and swears falsely in any of these that a man does, sinning therein, then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. All right,
I feel like that should be a command.
So let's see here. All right, so we got a command watch here. So if we are able, what are we saying here? So if you go and beat up a guy and take his stuff, is what it's saying, right? Because it violently.
If you take it and deceive your neighbor about it, and then you're like, no, I don't have this thing, and then you find out this dude just lied to you, and you find it in his garage or whatever.
Right. This is also talking about violently taking away, though. So this is a thing, but hands-on thing.
This one says took by robbery. Mine says took by robbery.
Yeah,
mine doesn't say violence.
How does it say violence?
Well, robbery, that's essentially it. If you rob somebody, unless you're like the guy's not at his house, right, and you do it, it's going to be violent. There's no such thing as a non-violent robbery, right? You put a gun to somebody and say, give me your money. That's violence right there, right? You don't give him the money, the guy could shoot you, something of the sort. So this is... if a soul and a transgression committed against so if you're lying to your neighbor, and you found something that was lost and lies concerning it, so if you find any of his stuff, then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, and he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing that he has deceitfully gotten, or the thing was delivered to him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. Okay, so if you find, maybe that should be a command. If you find anything, return what is not yours. Return what's not yours to your neighbors. And if you violently took it away, then that's not good. There's got to be something else.
Repent for that.
Yeah, you can't go putting hands on folks like that. All right, so that is, I agree, that is a command. So if a soul and commit, sorry guys, I'm just kind of going over this again. Anyone have anything else with this? Read your stuff, guys, and go with me on this and help me with this command.
Wait, you want me to start at 2?
What is the command?
I would say the command is to return to your neighbor what is not yours.
Yeah.
If it's not, I mean, your neighbor is everybody. So if you like steal from next state away or whatever, next country, give it back to him.
Well, I mean, the situation could be like somebody stealing something from your neighbor, and on the way out, the guy drops something, and then you go by and you pick up what's on the ground, and you take off with it, and you're like, I didn't see anything or anything of the sort. All right, so yeah, return everything that is not yours.
Yeah, I mean that
To
can go
the
multiple
person
ways.
that it
I mean,
belongs to.
if you don't know who it is and you pick it up, that could be a problem. But if your neighbor comes looking for it and like, hey, have you seen this? And you
Yeah.
have it,
Yeah,
then you need to return it to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
yeah.
if you pick it up and you don't know whose it is, that could also lead to issues.
Yeah, and I mean, should you not seek where it is? I mean, if you're living in a little community with something, some guy has like a jewelry box
Or drops his wallet, you're trying to find that
drops
guy.
his wallet. Yeah, you should go find
Should have
that.
some ID in there, hopefully.
All right, so yeah, I think that's number 52 that we have. Return what is not yours. All right.
Is it 2 through 4?
Yeah, 2 through 4, and then we'll see what else it says. Or all that about which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the fifth part thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertains in the day of his trespass offering. Okay, what are we saying right here? So, what did yours guys read?
Mine says, or all that about which he swore falsely, he shall repay its total value. He shall repay its total value, and add 1/5 to it, and give it to whom it belongs on the day of his guilt offering.
So if you are okay, so all right, help me out here, guys. What do
So
we got?
basically, if you steal something,
So basically, you have something, you steal a lamb, you
Don't cut him
basically
off.
gotta add 1/5 of that more.
Eli, what were we saying?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. All right, let everyone talk, especially Eli. He talks like once an entire segment. So let's listen to everybody. Okay, so we must give him a fifth part thereunto. But you're only supposed to give him a fifth unto on the day of your trespass offering, right? Is that what it says?
Yeah, like the day you go bring your guilt offering, you need to go pay your neighbor as well. I think that's where Yahushua said that if you have a problem with your brother, leave your sacrifice at the altar and then go make peace with your brother. I think it has something to do with that.
Okay, and so where is this command at? We have the very first command: return anything that is not yours.
And
And then
if you stole it, if you swore falsely about it and it's found out, you need to basically repay its value and then add 1/5 of whatever that value of that thing was.
so if there's a jewelry box and you found it and you lied about it and you decide to give it back, then you would need to find what 1/5 value of that jewelry box is.
I think if you gave it back honestly, if you just gave oh yeah, by the way, I have it.
right,
if you
voluntarily,
but
if you try to be a criminal,
A deceiver.
a deceiver,
Nope,
then
I
you
don't
will.
have it.
So these are all things that the judges of Yisrael would go over. That they would say, okay, so you need to do this, and to make this right, you need to add it. But so we wouldn't have a trespass offering. We don't have trespass offering.
Right,
Messiah
you just-
Yahushua did this. So how would you finish off that command?
I guess when you ask for repentance to Yahuwah, maybe give that person back 1/5 and then repent.
Yeah, if you want to make this right, then pay this guy back for doing evil, and that if you went and gave somebody I don't know something after you had done evil, it's going to look a lot better. You're like, man, I really did the wrong thing. I screwed up. I jacked this whole thing up, and okay, so that would be. I think we need to add that to that 52 command. So
Yeah,
it'd be 2 through 5. All right, here we go. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahuwah, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahuwah, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he has done in trespassing therein. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the Torah of the ascending smoke offering. It is the ascending smoke offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it.
So where yours says burnt offering, your sending smoke offering, mine says burnt offering.
Okay, so sending smoke offering is the same as the burnt offering. Okay, 10. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire has consumed, with the ascending smoke offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out, and the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the ascending smoke offering in order upon it, and he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. All right. Now, we do a lot of stuff with fire. So this fire is supposed to be burning all night long.
So they have to have people like up at all times throwing wood in this fire.
You'd have to have the wood guy, right? You would have the
Right.
chopper guy. And I wonder if that was a dude from the Levites, or did they have outsiders
They have
Like
field
delivery people.
deliver Yahuda? Go cut.
I don't know. I don't know if the wood had to be like sanctified or it could just be a wood they found in like.
Oh
like
yeah, no, it's got to be a different. I know it's got to be a
Gotta be a
certain
certain
tree.
wood.
Yeah, there's a certain tree. We read about that before, and you can't just go tossing sagebrush or something on there. It'd be an issue, I think. Okay, so anyway, that's a lot of wood. Whatever it is, if you're running fire consistently, it takes a lot of wood, a tremendous amount. All right, 13. All right, the fire shall ever be burning upon the altar; it shall never go out. This altar is like super hot. That gold would have been just like
Price didn't melt, all
probably
times.
burn, and they probably flipped the blood on there. It probably sizzled. It was so hot. I mean, when they put them on the horns, that stuff, that thing would have been super hot. And this is the Torah of the oblation. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before Yahuwah, before the altar.
This one says grain offering in mine. So this is the
Okay.
grain offering.
So, and this is the Torah of oblation.
Yeah, the grain offering.
Okay, and this is the Torah of the grain offering, and it says up there in the NIV that as well. All right, and he shall take of it his handful of the flour of oblation, of the grain offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense, that which is upon the oblation, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yahuwah.
The king says meat offering.
Meat offering for which part?
And the end, like towards there in 15.
15, and the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial unto Yahuwah? Where's it say?
Which is upon the oblation there.
And shall burn. Okay, so yeah, this oblation is now meat, or no, it's
No,
grain.
it still
the
says
king,
grain.
the king's funky here, or something. I mean, it's got to be a grain, right? I mean,
Right, yeah. Mine's still grain.
Mine says cereal.
cereal. Yeah,
That's right. That's closer to grain.
yeah. So I don't think meat is correct. I don't know why they have that. All right, 16. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat. With matzah shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly they shall eat it. Now, hold on. So he's eating matzah bread.
Unleavened, yeah.
Unleavened bread. But is this a grain? I mean, it's talking about this grain offering, right?
Right.
Right. So would it be meat? I mean, versus grain? I mean, grain would make the matzah. I mean, that's what you would be
Yeah,
making it
it
with.
was.
Why would he have it twice?
Because it says a handful of fine flour of cereal. So it'd be fine flour of your grain and your oil.
Okay. All right. So maybe I don't think it's meat then, but I don't know. So you have one offering and then you have matzah bread. All right.
Maybe the grain offering is to feed Levites.
Maybe. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of Yahuwah made by fire. Everyone that touches them shall be holy. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall offer unto Yahuwah in the day when he is anointed. The 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for perpetual oblation, half of it in the morning, and half there at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil, and when it is baken you shall bring it in. With the bacon and the bacon pieces of the oblation shall you offer for a sweet savor unto Yahuwah.
I don't know. Every time you say bacon, I'm just imagining bacon because mine just says baked. So
You're thinking bacon? It ain't no
Yeah.
bacon with the Hebrews, bro. That's evil. Hold on. So I'm go back to 21 right there. What does it say over there? Yeah. So again, the king says meat offering, and the bacon pieces. Bacon. I don't know how to say it other than it sounds like bacon. That's the word. And the bacon pieces of the oblation, meat offering, is what's in the king. So there's a very strange translation error.
The king had issues between meat and grain.
well, in 21 of mine it says
in NIV's grain as
it
well.
says it is made on a griddle with oil mixed. Bring the baked portions of the grain offering near a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah.
So is yours bacon too?
And mine's baked.
And the reason why it's
I don't know why it says
unleavened, which
bacon.
means it's still unleavened bread. It's still grain. It's unleavened. There's no leaven in it. There's no sourdough starter. There's none of that. No yeast.
Right. Man, I wish I had you at the table. This is so good. I love having Nicole by us. She has so much good info to give us. All right. And the priest of his sons that is anointed in his stead shall offer it. It is a statute forever, and unto Yahuwah it shall be wholly burnt. And again, what does burnt bread smell like?
Awful.
It smells pretty bad.
So this goes from like something that would be edible to something that is like
completely roasted.
nasty. Yeah, completely black and not so great.
Burnt stuff doesn't taste all that great.
Yeah.
So I mean, at some level, Yah must be like he takes the good and like doesn't sniff the bad stuff or something. I don't know.
I don't completely understand why these have to be done like this.
I don't know. You add salt. I mean, at some level, you're almost feeding Yah, or you're appeasing him so he doesn't crush you.
Well, in 21 he says a sweet fragrance, so you might like the burnt smell. I don't know.
Maybe he's good with the burnt stuff, or it's crazy. I don't know.
Maybe we should be eating burnt food all along.
We got a lot of questions to ask one day, gentlemen. Okay. For every oblation for the priest shall be wholly burnt; it shall not be eaten. Okay, don't eat that; it's not good. And Yahuwah has spoken to Moshe, saying, "Speak unto Aaron and his son, saying, This is the Torah of the sin offering. In the place where the ascending smoke offering is killed, shall the sin offering be killed before Yahuwah. It is most holy." Okay, so there we go again. So this is more beautiful animals that have the hand put on them as they cut their throats, right? So you killed the sin offering before Yahuwah. Yeah, and I don't know if people got this. It's like, why do you continue living in sin when you're destroying all these animals?
I was wondering, and maybe they didn't have to do like offerings, like people weren't like consistently sinning. Like somebody sins, they don't sin for like a long time. So I don't think they were continuing bringing their own offerings. Like maybe one person here and one person there, but I don't think one person was continually sinning.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. So
Tremendous
it's like,
amount of people.
there's probably a lot of people sinning, but I don't think it's the same person sinning over and over.
But at the end of the day, who has risen up today and not somehow come close to committing a sin, right? It's very easy to commit a sin, right? Everybody looks at each other like, where have we sinned? What have we said? What are the deadly sins, right? Gluttony, pride, envy. Is lust in there? Is lust in there?
I believe it's one.
Lust should be one.
That sounds like one.
Definitely should be one.
That might go under like envy or something.
Maybe. So anyway, yeah, it's real easy to sin, right? He who without sin casts the first stone. All right, here it is. Okay. The priest that offers it for sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly. And whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereon upon any garment, you shall wash that whereon it is sprinkled in the holy place. And if it sounds like we got distractions, half the family are taking on the dogs, so my apologies. But the earthen vessel wherein it is sodden shall be broken, and if it be sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be scoured and rinsed with water. All right, what are we dealing with here?
Okay, but the earthen vessel in which it is cooked is to be broken, and if it is cooked in a bronze pot, then it is scoured and rinsed in water.
Okay, so what are we talking about? So this is the sin offering, right? Okay, so this is sin offering, and then the priest offers it in the court, and the thing, and so...
So blood, I think when blood touches it.
The blood, that is it, yeah, you're right. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy, and when there is sprinkled of the blood thereon any garment, you shall wash that wherein it was sprinkled in the holy place.
So if it's like a clay pot, I think earthen vessel is like a clay pot.
So I hate to sound like gross or whatever, but I believe that when they cut the throat, they put the bowl underneath of it and they collected the blood, like right there. They put the hand on it and they had that. So we have yet another thing about blood, right? And so I don't know if this is a command, but I mean,
I don't think they did collect it, unless it was a different type of bowl. Because if it was a clay pot, they had to break it.
Right, because what was it we learned before? Clay pots were built with like a lot of pores in them, and like all the bacteria from the blood, and like when unclean things touched it, it like went inside that clay pot. Like you couldn't just go take it and wash it out like you do nowadays. If you have
like absorbed
a
stuff.
straight up glass or metal bowl, you can't just wash it.
Right.
The clay pots had a bunch of pores in them
Whereas a bronze pot, it says all you got to do is scour it and rinse it.
Right, because it doesn't absorb it.
basically boil it in water.
So this would probably be up to the people bringing the sacrifice. I would imagine they brought their own stuff. Why would they have a whole bunch of like clay pots that they had to break all the time?
I don't know.
I think it was to
blood
cook the
over.
meat in. I think it was like a pot like cook the meat. Because here it was like to either put like pieces of the cow in there, like they like cook it on the altar or something of that sort.
Well, it's interesting. I guess I'm not understanding. Is you guys understand this? Am I the only one that lacks understanding?
So, but the earthen vessel in which it is cooked is to be broken.
Okay, cooked, sodden. Okay, I didn't get that. Sodden is yet a horrible translation. What is sodden?
I don't know. I've never heard of
Yes.
it.
Okay, I should be probably like.
We have put in some complaints or something.
Nah, I mean this is the right words. I mean we got to figure this stuff out. This is why we're studying this, right? And so, if you cook in it, you gotta break it. So I would imagine the priests had their own stuff that you wouldn't break all the time. And so if the people brought their sacrifices,
Maybe they brought
a clay thing, and then they just tossed the clay thing out and broke it. And yep, did you have something?
Nope.
All right. So 29, and all the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the assembly to reconcile withal in the holy place shall be eaten. It shall be burnt with fire. All right, so that's it. I have this strange feeling. I got to go back to Leviticus 5 here, because I do not, and it just died on the NIV, but I do not want us to forget Leviticus 5. As we find these other commands, I think we need to fill in the verses under these other commands that has the judgments with it, or that, just so we don't miss this.
I bookmarked that maybe.
Yeah, bookmark it. So we need. This is the first chapter that I believe we have not quite gotten to the bottom of.
Not quite a defining command.
Yeah, not fight right. Define. It's not a command. There's not commands in there, but there are other commands because we shouldn't be touching things of that nature. But is there a command not to touch a dead carcass?
Yeah, I believe so.
He was telling to clean. He's like, you guys gotta like do a sacrifice if you touch the carcass. But
And I mean,
there's commands later throughout, I believe towards the end of Leviticus, where it says if you touch the carcass that you need to bath, that you need to go in the river, you need to bath yourself, and then you come back and give the sacrifice to the Kohen.
Right. Okay. All right. So I think that's good. I just do not want to forget Leviticus 5. I think that's very important that we don't forget this, that we add to it. Anyone have anything else?
No.
Eli,
Read your Bibles.
you're speaking way too much. I need you to settle down and not talk so much, please.
All right.
All right. Good.
right,
So
yeah.
most of this is a lot of stuff with the priests we can't do, but we can do these offerings asking for forgiveness in the blood of Yehoshua.
Absolutely. Are you speaking of Leviticus 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of these where we sin and break these commands, we have to offer these things.
Right. And that's a tremendously good point, because this is where we have to understand that the Levitical priesthood was swapped into our Melchizedek priest, which is Messiah Yahushua. And so we have the perfect priest and the perfect sacrifice. So yeah, we do need to repent. And I guess that comes up to it. I guess the Grand had a good question. If she's burying the dead, and they're literally the dead, the human beings that are dead, are we unclean until even?
I think so.
I believe so.
And so what do we need to repent for touching the dead?
I think we need to wash the blood of Yehoshua over us. I think we need to.
We definitely need a bath at evening, and then
I think that it would be the same as the Levitical side minus the Levitical side, right? If you were unclean back in the days and you had to have a priest wring a neck of a turtle dove or something of the sort, it would be the same. We'd need to repent that we did touch the dead, and that. Go ahead, kid.
Because being unclean back in the day would mean you have to go sit outside the camp, so you don't infect the rest of the camp. You'd have to go wash yourself until that point.
Yeah, you're gonna be unclean, and there's many ways to make yourself unclean. This is just simply one of them. So I guess back to the Torah command. If we let's say, for instance, I mean, we have to kill birds, and the birds are unclean to us. Is this a command that we should not be touching unclean animals?
It says don't touch the carcass of an unclean animal, but there's blood involved, right? When you kill an animal, there's going to be blood involved, so we've touched blood.
Right, and what happens, though, if we are making this into dog food? I mean, this is the...
That's what I always worry about meat. See, if you touch meat, that's technically a dead animal, right?
It's a carcass, yeah.
So you're basically, when you freeze that and you eat it later, you're technically unclean.
So what happens when you take it out of the fridge, a chunk of meat, and you touch the meat? I mean, you're touching a dead carcass. Yeah, are you unclean?
I don't know on that one.
I mean, and you're still dealing with blood, and you're still dealing with this stuff.
I know, because we had like the Passover. They said kill the lamb, slaughter the lamb, and the people who eat it, but they never said wash after you eat the meat.
Yeah, but who killed the? Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's cooked meat.
Right.
So.
I mean, the person who killed the animal is definitely gonna need to wash, because blood gets everywhere when you slaughter an animal.
Yep.
So the person that killed is gonna need to wash. Now, the person that cooks it, there's still gonna be blood involved. You're still gonna be touching blood, because with every meat, you're gonna have some blood in it, whether it's inside the meat or not. You have to cook the blood out.
I guess we'd have to figure out, define what a real carcass is. I mean, is a carcass a chunk of meat that has been cooked up? I mean, I don't think that could be right. I don't think that's right. I mean, because there's no commandments that say that we're unclean when we eat meat, or there's no such thing, right? What about the quails, right? They had the quails. When they had the quails, they would have had to kill the quails. They probably wrung some necks there, and so, but what is the command? Where's the fine line? I don't want to be legalistic, as they say. Jason, you're being legalistic.
It's probably mostly like a dead animal that was like killed or something, like fell over dead is probably what they're talking about, because usually those are pretty diseased.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, a carcass is like, I think it's like when it becomes like rigor, when it's rigor and it's like stiffening, like
Carcass is a dead animal, dead whatever it is. That's a carcass.
I mean, but if you're killing it, like you're in the middle of slaughtering it, I don't know if that's considered a carcass. You're like killing it to eat it. That's not like something that was already pre-dead.
So I think when you guys slaughtered your cow, right? I think you guys were all covered in blood.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you were totally unclean until even. You're obviously, you smelled foul as well.
Can't help that.
Yeah, I know. It's just the way
The life of a priest was rough.
Yeah, the life of a priest. You don't come home smelling. You smell like a butcher shop, I think.
Yeah, I think they were like bathing like
There's
3 times a day.
Had bats all over the place and blood everywhere. It's just a bad job. Okay, so we don't have any answers. I think I created more questions than we've answered here. Something that we need to come to find out is just the guidelines behind this. I do think if we touch a dead corpse, that would be something we should repent of. And I mean, we're going to be unclean. A lot of these, again, are ceremonial stuff. Like, you would not be able to go into the temple. You would not want to go into the temple unclean and things of that nature. And so, more questions and answers on this one. I hate ending it like this because I like closure on this, but we will be back to Leviticus 5 at some point, and we will add these into the other commands as we find them. So today we found one command, and I think we will leave it at that. Eli, do you have anything else?
No.
All right. Jabberjaws.
Read your Bibles.
All right, read your Bibles.
Shalom.
Shalom, everybody. Bye.